He hits this ball a ton in the air to center field, sending Adele back to the warning track to the wall. It's off his glove and gone.
That was the second time this year that Jo Adell jumped for a fly ball. The ball bounced off his glove and then went over the fence for a home run. So you got to feel bad for Joe. He's a young guy. He's going to learn from his mistakes. Maybe next time he angles his glove a little bit to where it doesn't pop this way, maybe goes this way. I don't even know if that would work with gravity. Regardless, we have a crazy MLB recap, the final day of the regular season. So there's going to be one more recap tomorrow. Turn on your bells and subscribe because you're going to want to stay up to date. 4 different teams ended yesterday with a chance to make the playoffs in the National League. So we're going to go ahead and break down everything, including who is going to face each other in the postseason if it ended today. So don't go anywhere. And without further ado, let's start talking baseball. The first story, I'm going to get it out the way because it's going to make me cry. Just kidding, I'm not going to cry on camera, but it did make me tear up yesterday. Seeing Hunter Pence tweet out that he is retiring, I consider him an icon because of that crazy batting stance. He didn't let anyone tell him that he was doing something wrong. He was comfortable with himself, and I think that really spread around the game of baseball, and young players thought, you know what, if Hunter Pence can swing like that, maybe I can do something crazy and figure it out on my own. So the 4-time All-Star, the 2-time World Series winner, he owns a career 31 WAR, or actually 30.9, but I like rounding up, especially for Hunter Pence. He's calling it quits, he's hanging up the cleats, and the game of baseball is definitely going to miss him. What a day for Yankees fans. Just a game after the Marlins cooked them in their home ballpark to secure a playoff spot, and Yankees fans were not happy that they were taking pictures on their home turf. DJ LeMahieu and Luke Voit did something special, and they took the W yesterday. With LeMahieu's 4 hits, he grabs the batting title. That is the first time ever that a player has won a batting title in each league. So he did it with the Rockies a few years ago, the National League, check. Then he does it in 2020 for the Yankees, that's the American League, check. The first time ever. And then on top of that, Luke Voit hit his 22nd home run, so he is the league leader in home runs. That is the first time since 1959 a single team has had the batting title winner and the home run champ. And like I said, 1959 was the last time. Just some scrubs named Hank Aaron and Eddie Matthews. That is some elite company. I would be feeling pretty good if I was DJ and Luke today. Yesterday, the Dodgers took a W for Mookie Betts, who got cooked by a fastball to the ribcage. I'm going to go ahead and show that right now because it did not look good. This reminds me of when Hanley Ramirez was hitting the ribcage a couple years ago in the NLCS, and I believe he had to sit out. So I'm hoping that the baseball gods please spare Mookie Betts. You might not like the Dodgers, but I don't know why you wouldn't like Mookie Betts. He is literally the second coming of Mike Trout, just a little bit smaller, a little bit minier. But the Dodgers get their 42nd win, which is incredible because they were good on paper, and a lot of people were thinking maybe they're not going to be able to do it off the paper. What that means is on the field, but they did it. 42-17. That is insane. All right, so now we're going to get down to the playoff business. We have the Mets trying to stay alive against the Nationals yesterday. The Brewers were facing the Cardinals. The Giants, they really need to get a W if they want to stay in the playoff race. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that right now.
2 out and nobody on. 2-2 coming to Soto. And he misses low at 102. I believe that's the first time we've ever seen that number from deGrom.
You could tell that not only Jacob deGrom wanted to make the playoffs, but he wanted to steal the Cy Young from Trevor Bauer, because if he was electric yesterday, which he was, but if he did not give up any runs, maybe struck out 12-13, I think it would be a pretty fair battle of who is the Cy Young between Trevor Bauer and Jacob deGrom, and he came out on fire throwing 102.2 mile-an-hour darts at 32 years old. He is one of the only players I've ever seen that continues to throw harder and harder as he gets older. Here's his average fastball velocity by age. I mean, it looks like an Excel sheet and like a stock. It's almost like Jacob deGrom is Tesla stock. Unfortunately, though, Andrew Stevenson of the Nationals, he did not miss eating his Wheaties that morning. And then Josh Harrison drove in the game-winning RBI in the 6th. And with that loss, the Mets have officially been eliminated, so we don't even really have to talk about game number 2. But I do want to shout out Trey Turner because he hit a home run in a 5-3 victory. The Nationals, they really just beat up a Mets team that came out flat after being eliminated. There was nothing to play for, but Trey Turner went off this year with 11 home runs, a 970 OPS, and then also 12 stolen bases just because he's Trey Turner and he can do that. So is he a top 5 shortstop? Please let me know in the comment section down below. I will be checking. So the Mets have been eliminated, cross them off the list. Now we have to talk about two teams that need wins to secure a solid spot in the postseason. The Brewers are facing the Cardinals. If you don't have anything to do today, I would recommend watching that game because it is going to be a fireworks show. Brandon Woodruff, he dominates in his most crucial start of 2020. 8 shutout innings with 10 strikeouts. All he needed was Ryan Braun's home run in the 4th, but he gets some insurance runs. But between Brandon Woodruff and Josh Hader, they allow exactly no runs. They gave up a fat goose egg to the St. Louis Cardinals, so they're still in the running. The Brewers need to win some ball games, as you guys can see by the standings. We'll talk about what every single team needs today in order for them to make the playoffs in just a second.
Against Johnny Cueto.
First pitch. Rush deep left field.
Pham at first.
And he rips that one into right field.
Here comes Tommy Pham.
Pham smokes this one out to left field and over rough and over the fence. And now Mitch Moreland strokes one out towards deep right center field.
Fernando Tatis Jr. played Giant yesterday. Get it? I'm sorry. If you're a Giants fan, please don't hate me. All that they needed to do was keep it close and wait for the offense to erupt, and that's exactly what happened. It took 9 innings, but Tommy Pham and Mitch Moreland, they bulldozed the Giants bullpen. So with that loss, the Giants now slip out of postseason contention. Wow. So there's only one game left, and we're going to have to really focus on the Brewers game, the Giants game. There's just a lot happening today, but let's focus on the Phillies because they also need a big-time W. The Phillies lose their 2nd game in a row, and they now fall to 10th place with absolutely no wiggle room left. And the unfortunate part is the Phillies have the toughest task of anyone that is going for a final spot in the NL. They're facing the mighty Tampa Bay Rays, and they're wanting payback for the 2008 World Series. So do you think the Phillies are going to make the playoffs? In my opinion, if I had to bet all of my bank account on one team, I don't think it would be the Phillies, unless Bryce Harper goes off and then the other teams lose. That's their only chance. So let's actually talk about it right now. So of course the Phillies lose, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and showcase what exactly the Cardinals, Brewers, Giants, and Phillies need to make the playoffs. So the Cardinals at 29 and 28, they qualify with a victory over the Brewers or a loss by the Giants. If St. Louis loses and San Francisco wins, the Cardinals would make up 2 games against Detroit on Monday that were postponed this season due to the corona. Or if St. Louis loses and the Giants win, the Cardinals would then play 2 more games against the Tigers on Monday, and if they win both of those games, they should be in. Moving over to the Brewers, they qualify with a victory over the Cardinals or a loss by the Giants or the Phillies. So the Brewers are actually looking pretty good because the Cardinals are not playing good baseball as of late. The Giants at 29 and 30, they can qualify with a victory over the Padres and a Brewers loss. So the Giants got to win and hope that the Brewers do not take the W. If the Giants and Brewers win, San Francisco, they need the Cardinals to lose both of those games on Monday versus the Tigers. And then last but not least, the Phillies can only make it if they win their game versus the Rays and the baseball gods bless them with a Brewers and Giants loss. So that's why I'm saying the Phillies don't really have a chance, but it's 2020, anything can happen. But there's everything that these teams need to make the playoffs. Aaron Civale is not the number 2 guy in Cleveland. I'm sorry, he's just not. I don't even think that he's the number 3 guy. I would go Shane Bieber, Carlos Carrasco, Zach Plesac, and then Mr. Aaron Civale, because GG to the Pirates. They put on a hitting clinic yesterday. Brian Hayes went off for 5 hits. He was 5 for 5. This kid is going to be special. So I wanted to go ahead and shout out the Pirates. They dismantled us yesterday. The Cubs were facing the White Sox. We all thought that Chris Bryant and his grand slam was going to seal the deal, that the Cubs were going to take the cake. But unfortunately for them, the White Sox, yeah, they come back and say, no, not today. We are trying to make sure that we are the number 1 team in the Central. But the Twins, they had other plans in place. Nelson Cruz, Eddie Rosario, and Luis Arias, they went off yesterday. Arias went 4 for 4 and raised his batting average from 282 to 315 in just one single game. So with the Indians loss and the Twins and White Sox wins, the Twins are now in first place, the White Sox are in second, and the Indians fall to third place. So now we have to talk about if the season ended today, how would it look? In the American League, the #1 team, the Rays, would be facing the Blue Jays. The Yankees would be facing the Chicago White Sox. That sounds like a lot of fun, a ton of offense. The Astros would be facing Mike Fiers and the A's. Sign me up for that one. And then the Indians would be facing the #2 seed, the Minnesota Twins. That does not sound fun. On the other side, in the National League, the Dodgers would be facing the Brewers. I would say the Dodgers would win that pretty easy. The Cardinals versus the Padres. We would have the Marlins. I still can't believe I'm saying that. The Marlins versus the Cubs. And then last but not least, the 7th spot Reds versus the #2 seed, the Braves. So if the season ended today, that's how it would look, but it might change tomorrow, so stay tuned. So there was a few more games from yesterday, and we're going to go over them super quick. This is going to be Fast Cast with Fuzzy. John Means meant business yesterday. He took a no-hitter into the 6th inning, but then Randall Grichuk and the rest of the Blue Jays, they decided to come out and wreak havoc on the bullpen of the Jays, and they steal that W. Biggio, he's now up to an 812 OPS, so props to him. Houston Astros, they got beat by Foolish Baseball's favorite player, Jeff Mathis. He teed off yesterday, and he raised his OPS to a 575 OPS. Wow, so awesome. The Red Sox faced the Braves yesterday, and apparently Tanner Huock is the next Jacob deGrom. Like, what is he doing? 6 innings, 1 earned run, 10 strikeouts versus a full Braves lineup. It's not like they coasted and this was a scrub lineup. No, this was the Braves at their fullest. The Tigers versus the Royals, Adalberto Mondesi, he continues a torrid September with another home run. But the Tigers used the first 2 innings to fuel themselves to a W. The Rockies were able to get a strong start from German Marquez. He goes 7 shutout innings as Elias Diaz and Ryan McMahon, they both hit 2-run home runs. And then last but not least, Game 1 between the Mariners at the A's, it goes to Kyle Seager and Justice Sheffield. And then game #2 is much of the same. The Mariners dominated. But let me know what you all think of today's MLB recap. What was your favorite part? Who do you think is going to come out of the National League? What matchup do you like the most so far if the season ended today? And then also Jacob deGrom throwing 102.2 at 32 years old. What even is that? And again, please let me know if you want to see postseason recaps. It's just going to be weird because not as many games are happening per day, so it's not like I can make a full video, but we'll try and make it happen. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe out there and enjoy this day in MLB history.
3rd, 2 out.